Well, welcome back to part 3 of the pick. As you can see today, I'm wearing a Ravens hat. Maybe that's a hint on who I'm taking. And today's drink of choice, some might call it a breakfast drink. What we got here is a screwdriver, vodka, orange juice. That's my go-to. I'll drink that all day, any day. It has to be Absolut with ice. All right. So we got a lot of stuff going on in Dynasty. The Davis brothers released their power rankings. Looking over this all day. Very good write-up. We really appreciate what you do with the league and how your ranking is in your breakdown. Instead of just typing out all my my guesses or my who I think should be power ranked, let's go over your thing and say where I move people around, shall we? So, Davis Brothers put the first order at number 1, citing that they have elite talent running back with Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook. I'm not going to argue that. I exactly wouldn't call broken David Johnson elite. I like their quarterbacks with Mahomes and Kyler Murray. I'd rank them right there with probably my quarterbacks as of right now with Lamar Jackson, Russell. I think me and Mike both have the best quarterbacks, best duo quarterbacks in the league. But I wouldn't put him at number 1. He's got who's his tight end going to be? Is he going to really run Dallas Goedert? He's going to be the tight end that's going to start. That's not an elite tight end to make you rank number 1, but neither does Fournette and friends. Personally, I would bump up Fournette and friends at number 1. And then the number 2 spot, I would either put me or Joe. Give your preference. A big thing you left off on my team, I'm a little insulted you did that. You didn't make mention of my I think I have the best tight ends in the league with George Kittle and David Waller. That's a huge position advantage going into week to week. I think that easily gives me the bump over the Southern Lips. Yeah, they're the league champions, but, Brashard Perryman happens. I'm not going to forget that. Personally, I would make me number 2. I'd bump the first order to number 3. And I guess you could put the Lips 4 just on championship alone, but they still have some questions with their quarterbacks. I know Aaron Rodgers is getting old. We're watching him decline, as the days goes on. How much really more elite years does he have left to kind of carry a team to a championship? He's probably, the writing's on the wall with Love taking a quarterback. They're probably not going to give Aaron Rodgers another contract, so wherever he goes is someone else's guess. 5, 6, 7, 8. They're all, to me, just bunched right there. There's no major separation, so I can really give 2 craps about what order that's in. And we got 9 and 10, the book club and the baker's dozen. Let's just, for argumental purposes, say tier 1 is me and Fournette and friends. Tier 2 would be Mike by himself. Tier 3 would be the Southern Lips. Tier 4 would be Alliance, Brothers, Run Christian McCaffrey, Rotten SOB. You skip Tier 5 and you go all the way to Tier 8. That's where I would rank the book club and the baker's dozen. Mags needed to really rebuild for the last couple of years, but he was just stuck holding on to those guys. He holds on to guys way too long. Does he still think Mike Williams is going to be this huge breakout guy? Does he's still holding on to Rojo after Tampa Bay clearly, or he's going to go in another direction drafting Vaughn. And then that goes over. But other than that, you guys did a great write-up. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to see if you guys do another one after the draft and see where you guys put everyone, where you can see after where all these draft picks are taking. So, my next take here. Let's go over the first 2 picks. It's probably going to be JT or CEH, right? There's no doubt about that. I do a lot of talking on forums and little blurbs, Twitter with people and Facebook. I took out a couple of the best things that I think best describes JT and Clyde Edwards. So here's someone's take right here. Clyde Edwards, these are early first rounders in drafts. They're going to be taken 1-2 regardless. Clyde Edwards is going to be a PPR stud on an explosive offense. So some people had him ranked near the top of pre-draft, but being with the Chiefs offense, that makes him the number 1 just being an explosive offense. Patrick Mahomes, anytime you have an explosive offense, you want pieces in that offense. They're going to get you the higher points. Someone wrote about John Taylor, his floor concerns me, but his upside with the coaching staff cannot be ignored. I won't be drafting him anywhere due to his risk, I perceive, but I believe it's likely above 50% chance that he will be a stud in the NFL. If I recall correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he had a lot of fumbling issues in college, right? So he's going to have to fix that up. JT, better measurables, an overall athletic profile, along with a great offensive line. His situation is a lot like Zeke's coming into the league. Zeke was going into a great offensive line, easy to run behind. Zeke's now arguably one of the best running backs in football, if not the best. You might throw McCaffrey up there just because he catches a lot of passes, but running a pure running back, Zeke has to be the best up there. Someone believes that JT can be like that because he's going into an offense with a similar roles with a great offense line and good coaching staff. Clyde Edwards here, playing with Mahomes on offense is just too much to pass up. I agree. That's he's going to be a PPR stud. It's pretty much guaranteed. Some people think that Taylor will be the better long-term play, where CH, maybe after a couple of years, maybe they won't give him a second contract and he has to go somewhere else. Taylor kind of has that, running back build where a team would want to build around that. But one question does come up, if another team needed him, would he be ranked at number one? Probably not, but situation plays a big role. Let's see. And another person brings up that I like JT a lot, but there are enough questions of how much he'll be used in the passing game. JT wasn't a bad receiver in college, but Mac was a better receiver than him and still wasn't used in the passing game at all in Indy, to make me pretty wary of him fantasy purpose in the modern day NFL. That's true, and a lot of people speculate that Nyheim Hines is going to eat up a lot of passes. The coach, I believe, goes on record that they can see him catching 10 passes a game, so that might limit JT's upside there, for PPR purposes. And this is the last breakdown towards it for Kevin and Mags. I hope you guys are listening. One person goes, I wouldn't want to take JT in a team that needs players to make a run at the championship. And I wouldn't want a guy like CH on a rebuilding team who will make me score points and win games when I'm not ready to do so. If I'm competing this year, I take CEH. If I'm rebuilding this year, I take JT. So, based on all that information, a couple of my opinion, you guys decide. I had talks at Mags, and he asked me who I would take out 1-1. I would take CEH, but then, listening to all this, it's because I'm ready to compete. I'm not rebuilding, so take that for what it's worth. Another fun question, if you guys want to post down there. So, who do you think is going to be this year's DJ Chark? DJ Chark came on the scene, what did he catch, like 12, 13 passes last year, and then it comes on and ends up as a top 20 fantasy wide receiver. Some suggestions people threw out there, they think N'Keal Harry might be, Andy Isabel, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Paris Campbell, Miles Boykin, who is my personal favorite. I might be trying to snag him up later, wink wink, or someone else. If you guys, let me know who you think might be the next DJ Chark. Second to last thing I want to go over, which I think is a fun one as well too, which I like doing these with people. They're called bold takes, or plant your flag, as some might say. I'm going to start off, as I told a lot of people, I think Amari Cooper will finish as a top 5 fantasy football wide receiver. Some people think that's ludicrous, but we'll see. That's where I'm aiming right there. I think Dak finishes as fantasy football quarterback number 1. I think he's going to have a better fantasy football year than both Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. I don't think that's too much of a stretching how he finished number 2 last year, so we'll see. I do think Tua will start by week 7. I say, here's a fun thing about Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley's probably going to start off the year with about 25 touches per game, and then after game 3, he's going to kind of fizzle out, so that's kind of what I see going out with Gurley. TJ Hawkinson, another big one. Tight ends don't usually break out until about year 3. But people still get super excited about him. Hawkinson will have 2 really big games and does nothing for the rest of the season, much like last year. Matt Breida is a running back 1 until he gets hurt in week 6. Sorry, Mike. Here's a good one. No rookie running back and no rookie wide receiver will go over the 1,000-yard mark. That's a good one. Devontae Parker will have less than 800 receiving yards on the year, so take that for what it's worth. I think Le'Veon Bell barely produces running back 2 numbers. I think he's getting up there. But he might stay afloat with just catching a couple passes here and there. But I don't see a lot of upside with him for the Jets at all. Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones will finish as top 12 wide receivers. Julio, we know, is a pretty bank for that, but I see Ridley taking a step forward in that offense. Here's a fun one. Thaddeus Moss will moss someone in preseason, and people go crazy, and people try to rush to grab him off the waiver market. Just because, you know, he made an amazing catch, people think he's the next best thing. Again, I'm staying away from that Washington offense, so you guys can have him. Last one is, I believe Christian Kirk might finish the year as a wide receiver 2, borderline 1 wide receiver. I'm looking for him to break out. I know that wide receiver corps is very stacked right now with DeAndre Hopkins. Fitzgerald's kind of getting old. I can see him playing the, second fiddle to Christian Kirk. But you still got Andy Isabel, who, he's probably going to get lost in that, and Hakeem Butler. So we'll see. To end this note, I will cross off someone else that I probably won't be drafting. So I think I said CeeDee Lamb to start the first one, so let's cross that out. He's not going to be being taken with the number 3 pick. DeAndre Swift will not be taken with the number 3 pick. Kind of narrows it down here a little bit. I will not be taking Jerry Jeudy with the number 3 pick. I hope you guys enjoy. Take care. Have a good night.